all come from the album generation, where you
Right.
put the headphones on and you listen to side one, side two, and Robert, in your case, side three and side four, right? And with the prog rock records. What, Gary, we're in the best of times and the worst of times when it comes to streaming, where people are just listening to maybe presupposed playlists and things. Is the album format still relevant?
I think it's relevant. Whether it's being used or not is another story.
Yeah.
I mean, I think most of the younger kids today are listening to singles,
Right.
and they're not really loyal to a lot of artists. There's major artists that they'll go see in a concert, but a lot of things I think get left by the wayside. And you have one single, and that's not always indicative of that artist's repertoire, what they really do. You hear a ballad that could be like the band Extreme, a heavy band. They had a ballad out, and people thought they were kind of lightweight, and they were frustrated because they're not lightweight, But because of that one song, people perceive them as being a softer band. So you're not getting the full repertoire of the artist.
Yeah.
That's what one thing about the radio that bugged me is you always hear Hotel California, never hear other tracks off the record that are just as good songs, but you never know that only unless you own the album.
Right.
So I wish that the format would come back. I wish people would listen to a whole side of a record, because you spend time in the recording studio to match up the playing list. What songs would be first? What would be the best second song to that? What's the
the running order? Sure. Yeah.
What song is the side one? What starts the second side? So you're not getting all the flavor of the artist by only hearing one song. That seems to be what's going on, because people just buy one song, digitally, and that's it. They don't buy the record. So vinyl's kind of, it's good that vinyl's coming back in a way, because a lot of people then are listening to the whole album.
Yeah. What are you going to say, Robert?
I on the topic of, is that format still viable? I think it is, and it's certainly not as viable as it used to be, in our generations coming up, but vinyl sales have really kicked up, especially this year, to something to sales levels that they've never seen in a long time. And as a father to a 19-year-old son, he certainly listens to a lot of different music. Kind of what you said, Gary, that there's a lot of just not as much loyalty, as it were, but and he does certainly tie into the idea of the playlists and the singles and streaming, but he has gone out and bought albums before, and he will sometimes, when he's here at home, and he has the time or the inclination, he'll put a record on and he'll listen to it. So, I think that as the generation starts to age a little bit more, that you will see that viability come back. And I think that they are starting to kind of tune into albums a little bit more.
It is. I mean, it has picked up a lot. Sales have picked up tremendously in the last couple of years, which is a great thing.
Yeah.
We'll keep going like that.